Hello.
Yep. Can you hear me?
Oh, yeah, I can hear you. So, is this going to be a debate or just me giving my point?
It could be a debate, I guess. But first, I'll you'll just say your point first, and then we could debate it. But
I'll just say Naruto.
but
Yeah, I'll just Naruto should be baseline billions of times faster than light.
okay. Well, I'm recording this, so like if you want to like give yourself like a little introduction, if this turns into a video.
Okay, well, I'm SenjuScaler. I'm not sure what else I'm supposed to say. I'm not really that big, but I do scaling posts, I guess.
Okay, and can you just say what your basic premise is and like what you want to talk about today?
Oh, that was just my premise. My premise is only just that Naruto should be in the billions of faster than light range.
Okay, and can you explain why you think that?
You're aware of the Sasuke Retsuden novel, right?
I'm not. I've not read it.
Alright, I can prove that it's canon just to start that out.
Okay.
It was co-written and illustrated by Kishimoto. I'll get that book cover. I actually have it on me. So basically, let me go to the feet now. Let me I'm sorry, I'm just looking at my scan surfer right quick.
Yeah, you're fine.
Yeah, alright. So basically in this novel, Sasuke and Sakura basically have to intercept these 12 polar particles. And how these polar particles are basically described, they were spread out across the stars. And going by how it's described, they're separated by the constellations. I can probably send that to you as well. I can send the direct statement. It's also in chapter 4 of the Sasuke Retsuden novel.
Okay.
I'll send that. So since they're all spread out in the as the 12 as the 12 constellations, that would mean they would have to be that. Dang it, my bad. I messed up. So basically, since they're distributed as 12 constellations, they will have to be basically separated that far as well. And be able to intercept that, the feet would be in the billions of faster than light range. And I'll get the calculation for that as well. All right, it went through. So, do you have any contentions with the things I've said so far? If so, I can probably also go into further detail of what I mean.
Yeah, I just want like a better picture of what's actually happening because I don't understand like what Sasuke and Sakura are actually doing.
Yeah, all right. So basically, this is from the novel, and the main premise is that Naruto's chakra has basically been sealed, and they have to intercept these 12 polar particles to basically get it back. That's basically the simplistic form of it. But
And are these polar particles flying through space or something?
yeah, they were spread across the sky by Hagoromo, stated by Kakashi.
But how are they getting them? Are they flying through space? Is that what you're saying?
Well, not necessarily flying. You don't have to be flying. They could just.
Well, I mean they do because you can't walk through space. They kind of have to fly if that's what they're doing. Either that or Sasuke's
Sure,
teleporting them.
sure. I mean, but Sasuke's not teleporting. The way it's not the way it's described, because they do it separately.
And how would they even survive in space? Because as far as I'm aware, Naruto characters can't survive in a
We see
vacuum.
Naruto characters survive in space.
Well, I mean, we've seen Otsutsuki's survive in space, and we've seen some Naruto characters on the moon, but we could just say that there was atmosphere on that in the moon in Naruto.
Prove the moon has the right atmosphere for them to survive.
I mean, you can't
Not to
prove it,
mention the
but
moon was getting destroyed as well.
I mean, the fact that they're talking to each other proves that there's an atmosphere. But you could
Why
just
would all
say
right?
you could
Would
say
you
in
agree that the
fiction.
Naruto universe would be basically based off our universe?
I
I mean,
mean, I'm pretty sure most people usually assume things are based off of our universe unless there's something that directly shows otherwise.
okay, so then why would this be any different?
Because
And
they're
why wouldn't they just
talking
be able to
and
do these
surviving
things
on
in
breathing on
space?
the moon
Cool, then why wouldn't they just be able to do that?
because it's not in space, they're on the moon. and the moon does have an atmosphere even in real life. It's just not nearly enough to survive on or talk on. But apparently in the Naruto world it is, and their moon isn't the same as ours. It was created by Hagoromo. Our moon wasn't created by Hagoromo, so technically it isn't even our moon. It's just a moon
All right,
that's
that's fine. That kind of proves my point. That kind of proves my point. Meaning, why would it have an atmosphere? Why would they need to be able to have an atmosphere to
because they
speak?
have people
Why
living
can't
there.
they
They have
just
a
do
whole
it?
civilization there. So
That's fine. Why can't they all just do that? Why can't Naruto characters have a baseline of feet of being able to do that?
because then why would they have lungs at all? Why would they breathe? That wouldn't make sense. If they would just all
Because it
have a
would just be
base.
connected to their chakra system to do basic things for ninjutsu.
But I'm pretty sure we've
Why
seen
would it have to be for
characters have to
breathing?
hold their breath underwater and whatnot. So that wouldn't make sense
Can
if
we?
they could just
Can you show
survive
me
in
a
the
scene where they
vacuum.
have to hold their breath underwater?
I mean, not off the top of my head, but I'm pretty sure like Naruto characters
Okay,
like
then I'm not taking that.
okay, but like you're just saying that they're going through space, and one these characters can't even fly. Sakura can't move in space; you'd be floating. So, like, what you have to like, you're not painting a really good picture of how they're performing this. They can't just skyrocket through space. They
Yeah,
have
like I said, I can go. Like I said, I can go into further detail,
okay, go ahead.
but I have to look at the novel again. But that might take just a few seconds. Okay, yeah. The statement says the Sage of Six Path divided the six polar particles into two, one hidden in the stars and that orbited not leaving, and the other hidden in the sky down to Earth. So I'll just say that they're controlling their pitch and yaw to be able to jump that high, which would still be based off their raw speed to be able to get those polar particles as well.
But it doesn't give a set distance. Like in the stars could just mean in
Yeah,
space. It
yeah,
could
yeah.
just
No,
mean
no,
in
no, no,
total.
no. That's I already told you why this would be based off the constellations as well.
Okay, well, I mean, it's kind of shaky, I think, but I mean, especially since we have statements of Naruto having trouble with light speed things in the past, so it wouldn't make sense for them
Okay,
to
wait,
be
what?
billions of
When?
times faster than
Can
light.
you name a certain statement or feat?
Yeah, first is obviously the light fang technique from Madara, where Naruto clearly says "whoa" and barely dodged it, and that feat
He
is
was in
confirmed.
point blank range, and why can't
Yeah,
Martyr just also be faster? Why can't it just be amped along with Martyr's?
because the guidebook says it's at the speed of light, so
Okay,
that's
why
just how
can't it
fast it
just be
is.
also faster than the speed of light thanks to Martyr?
But the guidebook is talking about that specific technique. Why would it say it's faster
That's
than light?
fine, but it also takes his chakra, so why can't it just be faster as well? Why
But
can't its base just not be faster than light? Why
he,
can't it just be amped to be faster than light?
he's the only one who ever used it. It's talking about that specific
That's
attack
fine. That's
used
fine if
by
he's the only
Madara.
one that's ever used it. It's talking about the jutsu in specific. That's fine. But I'm saying if he can amp his chakra and we know that he can be faster than light, and we have calculations to put him at these faster than light speeds, why can't he just amp his chakra to amp that ability or jutsu? It doesn't say just because he's the only one that's used it doesn't mean anything.
It says it's a ninjutsu used by those who gained the six paths power, so it's already used by people
Okay,
of
then
that level.
that doesn't mean he's the only one that used it.
I
So
didn't
that's
say he's the
fine.
only one who used it. The only people who use it are
Yes, you
six.
did. You previously stated that
I
Martyr
mean,
was the only
okay.
one
I
that
mean,
we've
I mean,
seen
he's the
use
only
it.
one who, yeah, he's the only one we've seen used it. I mean, technically, someone could have used it in the past that we've never seen, another Otsutsuki or whatever. But
That's fine. Like I said, that could just be the baseline for the jutsu.
I think
Why
you would
can't it
need
just
to,
be amped?
because then it would say that it says it's, or then it even says it's
No,
impossible for.
no, it doesn't, because that would just be Martyr's chakra. It doesn't have the ability is just saying that it's faster than light.
But can you prove that his chakra could increase its speed of a sage jutsu?
Yeah,
Because
because
sage
Naruto
jutsus.
characters chakra. I mean, yeah, Naruto characters chakra baselines their speed, strength, and durability.
Yeah, but
That's
most of
fine.
their techniques aren't light. Like a fire technique, fire doesn't have a speed. Fire could be at any speed that it's launched at. Water could be any speed it's launched at. Same with earth and whatnot and
That's kind of
wind.
my point. Like we even have statements of things like water fang bullet being faster than light.
Can I see
Like
that?
it,
It's probably a
yeah,
hyperbolic statement, like with the what's her face's wind fan being like blowing away the universe or something.
that's
But
not what the statement says for Tamari. Is that what you're talking about? That's not what the statement says.
it says something similar to
That
that.
was a
But
false English translation. It doesn't say that.
And anyways, it says it cuts things at the speed of light, making it impossible for the enemy to evade. So even if you want to say that, it's
Yeah,
already
that would
saying the
just mean
speed
the
of light's
characters are
impossible.
faster than light.
Yeah, but I'm saying it shows that Naruto in particular could dodge that attack, but it's saying basically for anyone who hasn't dodged it or not that's not at that level, the speed of light's impossible for them to dodge,
That's not what its statement says. It just says it moves at faster than light. It moves at light speed,
making
and it
it
will be
impossible.
impossible for people to evade
Yeah,
if they aren't light speed. And like
it
you're
doesn't
saying, it
say
would be
that.
hyperbolic when we have consistent Naruto statements of being light speed. Mifune's sword, lightning fang bullet, Haku's jutsu. There would be consistent traits of light speed in Naruto, so it wouldn't be hyperbolic in any sense.
Well, we also have the technique from the teleportation technique at light speed, which was stated to be too much for someone like Tsunade's body. So Kage level characters are clearly not light speed.
Wait, say that again.
The hold on, I'll post it. Um, this technique, the heavenly transfer technique, it's stated to launch people at light speed, and it was stated that that speed was too much for Tsunade to survive, and even too much for the Raikage, who's one of the fastest people. It was too much for him too. Only the third Raikage, with his super strong body, was able to handle it previously. But the Raikage at this
Let me
moment was
go
able to
over it.
make it, and then Tsunade, with her special healing jutsu, was able to make it. But
Let me
that just
read this
proves that,
statement right quick.
yeah, normally that they're not nearly light speed.
Actually, you know what? I feel like I have an argument for this, but I'll take this into account. That's fine. I'll take this into account.
Okay.
But why would that negate Mifune's light speed sword slash?
I'm not saying it negates it. I'm just saying that it shows that most Kage level characters are not light speed, and Sakura, who's like barely like maybe like not that far beyond Kage level, and Sasuke obviously is, but
Sakura should be baseline comparable to SOB Naruto before she fights Kage.
which version of Naruto?
Pre Kage fight SOB Naruto.
His Sage of
P
Six Paths
Naruto.
forms, or his.
Yeah.
So you think she's way stronger than his Biju Sage mode?
Yeah, it was literally stated to be so.
But she was stated to be caught up with them, not stronger than them.
No, that's a different statement entirely.
Well, when was it stated she was stronger than them?
I
I know.
didn't say she was stated to be stronger. The statement says that she doesn't fall behind them, meaning she would have to be relevant to that Naruto.
Yeah, she's relevant to them, but that was to BSM
Okay, if
Naruto, wasn't
she's
it?
relevant would be anywhere from 50 to 100%. Would you agree with that?
I would say that it seems reasonable. But are you saying relevant to BSM Naruto or Six Paths Naruto?
Six Path Naruto, that's what's stated.
But isn't that when she was stated that like right before she got like smacked by Madara?
Yeah, so did Naruto and Sasuke. Until they get stronger as they fight,
But why would they get stronger as they fight?
because they started getting the hang of their jutsu. I mean, not of Six Path. Stated, I'm pretty sure it was stated by Naruto. I probably can get that statement.
Okay.
If not, we just see feats that they would be greater than their previous state.
Okay, well, I have a few more scans I could show, like how it was stated that it was clearly impressive for Kakashi to intercept lightning, and how Black Zetsu said it was impossible for someone to be able to dodge natural lightning. So that would indicate characters are much slower than light speed at that point.
Or that would just mean he's underestimating Itachi. That
Well,
wouldn't mean anything.
yeah, no, he could be underestimating Itachi, but the speed of lightning is incredibly slower than light. So
That's fine. That would just mean he's undermining Itachi's abilities,
by
and he's undermining
thousands
all
of
of Naruto's
times.
abilities. That wouldn't mean anything at all.
But Black Zetsu is one of the
Not to
most
mention
knowledgeable
this would be an
characters.
amped. Not to mention this would be amped. This would be an amped lightning thing. Not yeah, lightning strike.
Yeah, but
It would be amped.
he was talking about how it was impressive to take control of natural lightning. That's why he was hyping it up. But you could say it's a bit faster or a few times faster than natural lightning, whatever. But he says the speed of where it, like how fast it goes, like straight out, like 1/1000th of a second. And I think people have like calced it before with the distance, and the highest is like quad Mach. But it's
Like
like,
I said, that doesn't really get you anywhere.
I mean, like Black Zetsu is one of the most like knowledgeable characters in Naruto. He like has
That
been
wouldn't
planning
mean that
everything.
would just undermine his knowledge then. If he underestimates Itachi like this, where he doesn't have much knowledge on Itachi or any Naruto character by that fact.
I disagree. I mean, it just kind of I think it's like partially like author intent, and it goes along with like the rest of the scaling pretty much. But you,
Not to mention, Itachi reacts to this with his
yeah,
Susanoo
he
ribcage.
reacts to it, but he doesn't say you can't react to it. He says it's impossible to evade it due to the speed and probably the destructive power. But yeah, Itachi. Well, I mean, obviously Kakashi's already reacted to lightning. I think any Jonin is clear could react to lightning, but they're not faster.
Okay, then this would just be then this would just be a wrong statement. You bring up a statement about Kakashi, slicing lightning. And then he says, "Oh, you can't evade it. It's the speed of lightning. You can't just say that. It would just be a dumb statement."
I mean, he said it, not me.
Yeah,
I'm
and
just
already
quoting with the
refuted that
actual
statement as
manga.
well.
I mean, even if you do refute it, it's still in the manga. It's a statement from one of the
That's
most knowledgeable
fine. It could be
characters,
in the
author
manga,
intent. It's not. It was
and
never
that wouldn't be
shown
author
to be
intent
wrong
either. Prove why it would be author intent.
because he's like it's like describing to us the situation of what's going on. Like, there's no reason for him to be lying to us. And the whole point was he brought out
Okay, that
Susanoo
like I
because he had
said,
to.
that would just mean he has no background knowledge of Naruto characters as much as he thinks.
Well, he didn't know about Itachi Susanoo.
That's fine. He also was underestimating Itachi for pretty much the whole fight. He was also underestimating Sasuke for a portion of it.
And there's also this statement which I think is arguably like a high
Which one
ball,
is that?
but this is the lariat statement saying that it's near the speed of light, which would mean it's below it. Yeah, while rushing almost at the speed of light. So if you want to take this statement from the guide seriously, that would mean that A and B were like the fastest characters, like
Isn't there
pre six
like
paths mode
three
or faster than light.
translations of this? Isn't there three translations of this statement?
Do you have them? Because this is the only one I've ever seen. But
I can probably find it.
and that would be backed up by the other statement that I gave earlier, saying how the Raikage was never previously able to handle light speed movement, and only the third Raikage could. So it would make sense that him at his max speed would be below light speed, as it wouldn't. That statement would make no sense if he was at light speed or faster.
Wait, say that again? I wasn't listening. I was trying to find the statement.
I was saying that how that was backed up by the previous statement I sent that said that the Raikage was never previously able to handle the light speed transfer technique. Only the third Raikage could, so it makes sense that the fourth Rakage's speed was less than light speed. So this statement
Actually,
backs
can
it
you give
up
me
and
that
is
manga chapter for that actually?
for the transport technique.
Yeah.
Okay, I'll try to find it. Oh, I think it's in the statement that I posted. It says at the top, volume 56, page 85. I don't know exactly what chapter that would line up with.
I want to have full context. It says it's unstable to humans and only meant for inanimate objects as well.
Chapter
You said
529.
okay.
That's the debut of it. I don't know if that's the chapter that I posted from, but that's what it says on the Naruto wiki.
My bad. I can't find where like it was there like the debut you said it was there, but it wasn't the statement that you initially gave me.
Okay. Well, I do have a few more statements that I could show that for my point. That this is from I didn't read this novel myself, but I found for on the versus battle wiki for Naruto about talking about his speed. He it dodges photon laser beams, which to most people would be impressive, but to you it's way slower than you think he is. But so and he has trouble dodging these. So and these are photons, so it would obviously be light speed, and it's not powered by any jutsu user, as far as I'm aware. They're just photon beams being shot at him. Though I do think Naruto was weakened at this scenario, but like I don't have a problem with Naruto being faster than light. It's just I don't think there's nothing
Oh, I
that
know what novel this is from.
substantiates him being like billions of times faster than light, in my opinion. unless you assume that.
Yeah, I know what novel this is from. It was firstly, I think this was the novel with Minmo. This was shot by one of Minmo's goons, I'm pretty sure. So that could also just be amped by his chakra. And I'm not sure if Naruto was hindered in this situation, but I can look that up. But I can look up in the manga.
Yeah, and then there's also Delta shooting her laser beams, and she runs on technology, so I think there's a good possibility that these are just like lasers that she's shooting at him, which would be light speed, which is the only way. Like if because I don't remember exactly how they said the androids worked. If they had, I don't think they really have chakra of their own, but so Naruto has trouble dodging that.
I don't see him having trouble. This
But
is,
here in
and
the
not to
next
mention,
scan,
this
he
is a scene
says,
from when he's off guard.
"Whoa, that was too close," and she said, "God just missed," so it was a close one. And then,
Yeah, because this was a scene when he was off guard previously.
but then even if you discount that scene, like there's Delta later throws Himawari up in the air and then shoots her laser beams at her, and Naruto just barely manages to get to her in time. So he does outpace it again. So, which is another thing which backs up Naruto consistently being able to dodge and react to light speed things. But again, it doesn't seem he's vastly faster than it. And then,
Yeah, because
if you want to
firstly
say
he's targeting her. Wait, what?
if you want to say it's like really fast laser beams, you would then have to like scale literally like everyone in Naruto to be much faster than light because then like
Yeah,
Kawaki then
that's kind of
also
what I'm
dodges
doing.
it.
Like
Yeah, but
anyone that scales above Sakura or scales to Naruto, cause or scales to Sasuke,
yeah,
should
but
be able to do these.
Kawaki should be significantly weaker than them, and he also was able to get in front of her laser beams in time.
Yeah, but this is also just. Wait. What are you? Wait, what were you saying? I'm sorry. I actually lost track of what you said.
Yeah, I was saying how when she threw Himawari up in the air and shot out laser beams, Naruto went and uh to block her, and then Kawaki also went to block her, and he actually made it in time. He didn't make it as far as Naruto, but he still intercepted it. So either like Kawaki and Boruto and like other like lower tier Naruto characters are as fat like relative to Naruto as in like
Yeah, I don't see a problem with that.
so you think
I don't see.
like
Actually, I don't even see a problem
so
with
you
that. To
think
be.
regular Jonins in Naruto are also millions upon millions of times faster than Light?
Regular Jonins?
Yeah, because they
What do you
Kawaki
mean
kind of
by
scales to
regular
them.
Jonins?
Like
No. What do you mean by regular
like
Jonins?
someone like what's his name? Who's the team leader of Boruto's squad? Uh yeah,
Konohamaru?
Konohamaru. They like
Yeah, that's
him.
also fine. You
So
can make arguments for him being like swapping hands with Koji, but that's kind of iffy. If you want to use that, that's iffy. It will be more consistent if you use anime, but I don't see a problem with that either.
because then like he's clearly presented as less than Kage level, and as I previously showed, the Kages were shown to be less than Lightspeed. They're stated to be that multiple times,
Kage
and
just gets stronger. The Kage have just become stronger, meaning their level will be higher as well.
but even the previous Kage, like Konohamaru is just like kind of not that good in the feat department.
But I mean, he kind of is. Now, like it depends on what we're using. If we're using, what are we using? Just manga.
I mean, you could use the anime if you like. I don't remember him doing anything impressive there either.
In the anime, he basically takes an attack from Jigen. He takes an attack from Jigen, then comes back at him.
I mean, that could kind of just be plot induced stupidity because earlier in the anime,
That's fine if
he
it's
has
plot
trouble with
inducing,
like someone
unless you can prove that Jigen was necessarily holding back. That wouldn't matter to me.
because he was having trouble with like him and the other Jonin he was with were having trouble with that one lady, and it was the anime only arc where and then Orochimaru shows up and literally one shots her to dust. So it like
Hey, that would be fine as well.
so I mean that would and
Because
Orochimaru is obviously
because
weaker than
if
Jigen.
you can even argue that Orochimaru should scale somewhere to at least base Naruto.
I mean base Naruto if he's not using any six paths powers, I would agree. that he could possibly scale there. But if he uses six S
Yeah,
powers,
and base
even
Naruto should be
yeah,
over a base Momoshiki, which would be over Kaguya.
I don't agree with base Momoshiki being over Kaguya.
Okay, that's a different debate, so it
Yeah,
wouldn't
let's
matter.
not get into that.
That,
But
so I'll just say base Naruto over base Momoshiki, meaning Orochimaru's over Momoshiki.
it's possible, but I don't think we have anything to compare them that way.
I mean, we kind of do. We see Naruto completely being on guard in the manga, where he feels the need to even go sage mode when he's entering his facility until he sees Orochimaru face to face.
Yeah, but Orochimaru has a lot of tricks up his sleeve, including like experiments and
Yeah,
poison
and he
and whatnot.
feels that will be enough to take out his base form or do damage to his base form.
Yeah, I mean, like Orochimaru with prep is extremely dangerous, but I'm not saying that. Like, I don't know if you could compare him like in raw stat wise to Momoshiki.
Say, why would he be? I don't remember a time of Orochimaru using prep for prep time.
He used it against the third Hokage when he had the Edo
Oh,
Tensei.
you. Oh yeah. I guess he had a plan. I guess to trap him in there. But the Edo Tensai, he had to do that in front of him.
Yeah, but he also has to prep the like he has to get body parts from them ahead of time. Like if Naruto's walking into Orochimaru's like lab, I mean, he could literally have like any ninja in there. It's like not like he forgot the Edo Tensei technique. Like who knows what he has in there.
But
Plus,
firstly, Orochimaru is under heavily watched, and so that would be highly unlikely.
yeah,
Like I don't think you can really assert that.
but this is kind of going off topic anyways, but
Yeah, 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 yeah.
yeah. Let's go back to what we were talking about. So,
I'm still trying to find that scan, but I'll
it
just
should be
argue.
right before um Tsunade and the Hokage get sent into battle whenever that was. Like I think maybe it was like when they were sent to like Orochimaru's team's location. It might have been. I can't remember. It was either to them or to Madara. I think it was to Orochimaru because I'm pretty sure Madara showed up to them. I don't exactly remember what it happened, but it's just from whenever they went from the base to the battlefield.
I'm still trying to look for the scan. I'm not sure the exact point where they go out to go try and fight Madara. So I'm just starting from the thing you gave me all the way down.
What chapter are you on?
Chapter 534. I'm not really sure what's going on.
Do you remember what was happening on the battlefield when they teleported in at all?
Not necessarily, not really exactly. You know what? I'll just, instead of looking for that, I'll just argue against the scan you sent me.
Okay.
Firstly, I'll just say she literally states it's not designed for people and it wouldn't be able to send people, so that would most likely be the cause. And not to mention when she says you won't be able to handle it, she's asserting Tsunade's speed or being able to not be able to resist it or be able to move at those speeds. She basically assumes that so that so that doesn't really get anywhere either, in my opinion.
I mean, she specifically says like her flesh won't be able to handle it because of the speed.
Yeah, that's why I refuted it. That's what I'm saying. She's assuming Tsunade's speed, and she's basically just assuming that it'll be under the third Raikage.
Yeah, and I mean the fact that she needed her healing technique kind of backs that up because that she obviously doesn't need that technique to usually move. And then you could see her in pain when
What do
she's
you mean?
transported.
What do you mean? Does she heal herself afterwards?
Yeah, I think when she's teleported, she has her technique activated.
100 healing?
Yeah,
Why wouldn't that just mean she has that before she goes into battle?
because
We
she's
see that
because she
we see
point
that canonly used multiple times before she
because
goes into
she
battle.
literally says I can survive being split apart just fine. Um, or no, sorry. She says no need to the Katsuya or whatever, saying that she could be split apart to heal her, and then she says I'll use this, and she points at her mark, and then she has it activated when she's transported. And this literally just goes along with like all the other statements that I've shown that implies that they're at best
Wait, what
around light speed.
statements? Which statements?
Um, like the Raikage being almost light speed, Naruto having trouble with multiple things stated to be light speed. There's statements that you've
I
shown
mean,
that are
but he
also
doesn't
other
have
characters at
trouble at
light
all.
speed.
They're most of the time they're in point blank range, and I already gave an
Yeah,
argument
but if
for
you're billions of times
Madara.
faster than light, it doesn't matter if it's point blank range.
Not to mention, in this instance, he would be off guard and not expecting these things to happen. So when he's saying, "Oh, that's close. That's too close," he's
Yeah,
off guard and not expecting it
but it
until he looks back and sees it.
like I said, it doesn't. Well, he wasn't looking away; he was looking at her when it happened. But
Not in
like,
this is not in this instance. Not in that instance right there.
and
In
he
chapter,
has sage sensing anyways, so he should be able to feel it coming.
yeah, but that wouldn't negate that he would be off guard in that moment before he senses it. Not to mention, like we also
Even when
we
he sees
also
it
have
coming, he
people
still has
like
trouble with it.
Sakura that negates his sense. She also like negates Sasuke's sense even while his Sharingan's activated.
But like even, like all these arguments that you're giving would at best make a lot of the characters like slightly faster than light. Like the only one thing that you have that puts them at billions of times faster than light is that one statement that you're having that doesn't even give a set distance, and you're just assuming a distance based off of.
It does give a set distance. It well, it's not necessarily a set distance, but it's basically the constellations. The stars are the 12 constellations in the zodiac animals. And going by our own thing,
But is it
because
using
that's
a real
how,
life constellation?
yeah, because that's how it's described. And it would be more likely that the Naruto universe would be based off ours.
Their universe is based off ours, but their moon was created by Hagoromo. I mean, that
Yeah,
seems a
their
little
moon
weird,
could be
but
created. That's fine.
and their planet's completely different than ours. But it's possible that it could be like our universe. But
Wait, why would the planets be different? We don't pretty much see any other
I
planet
meant their
besides
Earth
Earth.
is completely different than ours. But the other series do that
That
too,
would
so
just
I could
be
give you that. But like I don't know, like just going off like where in the constellations is the thing that they're getting?
it's just the stars.
But
It's just within them. It's
but
just within the
okay, I
constellations.
mean that's a huge distance. Like you can't just like what's within them mean? It's
What do you mean? What's within them?
like is it in the center of one of the stars? Is it in between two of them? There's a whole bunch of them.
I don't think that
There's the
really
center of the
matters, or
constellation.
it doesn't. It doesn't pretty much change anything.
So
It could
like
be in between, outside. It doesn't really change anything.
and so like how are they getting there? Are you saying they just like straight up jumped off the planet like Saitama does on the moon and just like launches
Yeah, that
themselves
would
at
be
it?
fine. They would just be controlling their pitch and yaw.
Controlling it how? You can't control yourself in space. There's nothing to push off of.
Yes, you can. You don't have to control yourself in space. Like we see characters being able to just use the plain air
Yeah, the air.
to propel themselves
You know you
off.
could step off of air, right?
Yeah,
You
and
can't
we
step
see
off of
characters in
space.
Naruto do this
Yes, you know air is a physical
with
object.
raw speed.
You know, have you ever seen a basilisk lizard run on water? That's what they're doing to air. That like the water and the air is it's a physical substance. It's just thinner than you can see and you can feel. If you swing your hand really fast, you could feel the air. That doesn't
Yeah,
exist
it's
in
fine.
space. You can't do that in space. It doesn't matter if you're a trillion times faster than light. You can't bounce on your feet in space.
Okay, all right. I'll concede to that. All right, I'll concede to that one. Okay, then they just jump from space to Earth. I mean, jump from Earth to space like Saitama. I'll just say that.
I mean, if they jumped at the exact right angle and did that, I suppose it could technically be possible, but the planet would definitely blow up and shatter from their launch. But like I don't
Not
that
really.
doesn't seem like we've never seen a Naruto character do anything like that in the anime or manga. So just saying that they did that in a book when it's not described at all, like we have no description of how they did it, and you're just assuming they did something completely like crazy that we've never seen before, just because it kind of like backs up your argument of them being that fast. It just I can't really accept that. Like like there's no evidence that backs it up, especially and like everything contradicts it. Like from what we've seen. Like even
Nothing really contradicts
I
it
mean, it
though.
kind of does.
Nothing really contradicts what I'm saying.
Even if basic Genin were like faster than light, like I don't think you understand how large billions of is. Like there still would be no relevance. Like it doesn't matter if they're all faster than light. Billions of times of faster than light is completely crazy compared to that. Like being faster than light and being as slow as a snail is closer than being faster than light and billions times faster than light. So you're gonna have
That's
to,
all. That's fine, but that doesn't really matter to my claim or argument.
yeah, but
But
you're
I also have another argument for to still make them billions of times faster than light, but
okay,
it will only be a billion. But this calc would just be based off of Hagoromo.
okay.
Well, actually, no, I don't have to use the Hagoromo one. I'll just use this one. I'll use the other half of this one. Sasuke knows it. Maybe I can just copy it, copy the manga so you can read it as well. Yeah, okay. I'll use the argument of it being separated. I'll use the argument of it being separated between the Earth and the yeah yeah the role of the Earth and the role of the star. I'll say that, but it also states that it would be corresponding to the constellations, meaning the six polar particles on Earth would be still corresponding to the constellations in the sky, and the distance between those constellations will still be relevant.
Can you post the full paragraph context of the explanation of
Yeah,
where
yeah,
they
that's what I'm
are?
about to do. Yeah, I'm about to do that. If it'll, oh, I can't send over 300 words, 3,000 words.
Well, yeah, just send the parts that explicitly state where they are.
All right, gotta crop some out very quick. This is the one describing how the polar particles and how they would be corresponding to the zodiacs and constellations. And I'll get how they're separated. Yeah, the role of Earth, which is yeah. You know what? I don't have to say it. And this is how they're separated in between each other. The role of the star is comprised of the white horse, shepherd, cat, bonfire, and giant and turtle, while the one on Earth is comprised of the cat. No, yeah, it's comprised of the cat, bonfire, tanuki, frog, slug, and the turtle, and the old man. So that would just be the zodiac animal constellations, whatever you want to call it.
So the book gives no indication on how they get there at all, or on how they get them.
They they state they get it separately,
That's all they
and
say.
soccer can't teleport.
It doesn't say, it doesn't describe them getting them.
The only thing they describe it as how they get them is fast and suddenly.
Interesting.
And it also states in this scene, Soccer and Sasuke are clearly able to intercept these polar particles quickly and being able to move from the location that they were at, the location where Soccer and Sasuke were at from on Earth. That's basically pretty much it.
And how would Sakura come back? Like if they're in space, what would she jump off of to get back?
I already said I would drop that point of the space argument.
Yeah, yeah. Okay, wait. So are you saying that you don't think they went into space? Because
Oh
if,
no, that's not
but
what I'm
but
saying.
then
I'm
how
saying
then how
that
did
there could
Sakura
be
come back?
plenty of variables. There could be plenty of variables of how Sasuke got them from space.
Yeah, well, I could see Sasuke, but I don't see how Sakura could go there. Like I could see how she
Sakura
gets
and
there, but get
Sasuke,
back.
like I said, separately got them. Sakura got the ones off Earth.
Oh, okay. But then,
Sakura got the rolls of Earth, and Sasuke got the rolls of the star.
but Sasuke has the ability to travel through dimensions and teleport. So how do you
Like
know
I
he didn't
said, I
do
would
that?
drop that point. Like I already said, I dropped that point, which is why I was only referring now to the role, the role of the Earth,
Okay, so why would they need to be billions of times faster than light if you're dropping that point then?
because it would be corresponding to the constellations, meaning it would still be relevant to the constellations.
But it, but if he's teleporting or traveling dimensions, why does it matter how far apart they are?
Because Sakura gets the ones off Earth, and if they're still corresponding to the ones in the sky, to the actual constellation, then it would still be relevant.
You're saying because he got them at the same speed Sakura did?
I didn't say anything about Sasuke. I'm talking about Sakura.
But if the ones on the planet are all on the planet, that means they can't be that far apart.
That's not true.
I mean, the furthest they could be is across the planet from each other.
Yeah, that's fine. That's fine.
Yeah, that's not billions of times faster than light, though.
Yeah, that's the point of the calculation. It bases it off the distances between the separate constellations between Earth, the roll of the Earth, and the roll of the Sun. I mean, the roll of the star.
Wait, so what distance do you think she's traveling that's much? You're not making sense. Like, it could just
What
be
What do
where,
you mean?
like, it could just be if they're corresponding to the constellations, it would just be like where the stars are pointing on the planet as where they are. And even if that's not how it is, like I don't like if they're on the planet, they literally can't be further apart than the other side of the planet. It doesn't matter how they're corresponding to the constellation unless you're saying they're not on the planet. Either they are on the planet or they're not, and the furthest they could be is across the planet from each other. And then she has to do that what 6 times or whatever, however many times she had to do it.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. That's why I have a calc for that.
Okay, so then that means the furthest she could have possibly went is across the planet 6 times. And your calc definitely is not correct because doing that in even a second would still not be light speed, or it would be about light speed.
Actually, prove that. Prove that. I want you to prove that.
That if she went across the planet 6 times in a second, that would be light speed.
Yeah.
Okay, hold on. Okay, the calculations are there. You could travel around the planet 7.5 times in 1 second. So she could, if there's 6 things because she had to get half of them on the planet, the furthest she could go is across the planet for each one of them. So if she did that 6 times in just a second, that would be less than light speed.
One sec. I'm trying to go to it. My thing is still on the manga chapter.
Here's a little more from the actual article. And if she did do it like all that in 1 second, that would actually further back up my scaling argument because if she's relative to characters I said she would be around light
You
speed or
know
faster
what?
than light.
You know what? I'll drop. I'll drop that point again. I'll just
Okay.
concede to that point and use the Hagoromo argument. Hagoromo is stated to spread all the constellations across before. Yeah, it spread all the constellations apart, and it was basically said that he's rushed it. He basically rushed it.
Can you post exactly what you're talking about?
Yeah. I got you. My bad. I'm trying to find the exact part where it talks about Hagoromo.
You're good.
What did you ask me for again? I think I got it, but I'm not sure. I just
The
want to
the
make sure.
like the evidence of what you're talking about with Hagoromo.
With what I said was Hagoromo spread the polar particles around.
Yeah, and I just want to see the
All right.
source.
Yeah, there we go. I'm pretty sure. Yeah, this was described in chapter 2. This was described in chapter 2 of the manga in the Sasuke Retsuden. The sage sat of six path divided the polar particles into two. One was hidden in the stars that orbited without leaving. There's the other ones, but that's the only one I feel that would be relevant to prove my point that he spread them across.
So when it says hidden in the stars that orbited without leaving, I could see that being taken as them orbiting Earth, but even if we don't take it that way and say they're actually where the constellations literally are, like light years away, we don't know how long it took him to do that, or if he used
Yeah, that's
teleportation to
what
do
my
that.
calc is based off. Actually, it is based off the fact that it states that he was rushed. This was basically him being rushed, as it states. It goes from even a year. It goes from a year to a month. Would you be okay with that?
Sure, but like I said, we still don't know how he did it, like if he used teleportation methods, because we know characters like him have like abilities like that. And scaling Naruto to him is also
Wait.
questionable,
Actually,
but
I don't think Hagoromo, when he was alive, has any initial teleportation jutsu like that.
wait, so when did he uh split these particles and why did he do it?
He did this before he died.
And why did he do it?
It was like a pinpoint for Ashura. It it said something like a a point for Ashura as his successor in the Ninshu that created all the tail beasts, something like that. Yeah, I'm not sure how to really explain it because I barely know what that kind of means, but he basically said it's like kind of like for Ashura's successor to Nenshu and create the tail beast. But the main thing was for Naruto and his depleting chakra supply.
So they basically he sent this out for Ashura's successor, and then when Naruto needed it, they gathered it for him. Is that what you're saying happened?
Yeah.
Okay. I mean, it just seems like there's a lot of mystery of what's going on or here that like some things that you're not even sure on. I mean, it seems like the book really doesn't do a
I
good
mean, I'm
job
sure
explaining
on it.
it.
I'm just like I'm not sure the exact. I know the reason why he spread it out, but it's not necessarily vague. It's just that I don't want to say anything wrong per se. That's
Okay.
basically it. I don't want to say anything wrong.
Yeah. I mean, and also like so these things he's sending away are like chakra particles, I guess. Is that what he's sending
Yeah,
away?
and he also has them sealed so no one can find them
Okay.
besides.
I mean, and like also like you said, it could be done over months or a year or whatever, and like and
Yeah,
chakra
and
doesn't
that's
have.
what my state. Wait, what?
I was gonna say chakra doesn't have mass, so it would be extremely easy to accelerate. And in space, like as you should know, there's like no friction in space, so things could technically accelerate indefinitely in space. So let's say if he speeds them up to light speed in a second, every second, like they could be another multiple times like faster than light. So like that's like travel
That's not
speed.
how I'm saying he moved the
Yeah, I know.
polar
I'm not saying
particles.
that's how you're saying. I'm saying he could have done it that way. Like we like when like
There would be no instances that he moved it that way. Not to mention the polar particles aren't necessarily his chakra or Ashura's chakra.
so how do you think he's moving them?
There would be only one relevant way that he's moving him. He's using actual movement speed.
Well, why can't he use telekinesis to just send them across the planet, like the space?
Can you prove that a live Hashirama, I mean Hagoromo uses that or has that in his arsenal?
I mean, he doesn't he have truth-seeking orbs, and that he controls those telekinetically. And I mean, everyone moves like chakra like particles around, like people can
Can you
control it.
prove that he would use that canonly? Can you prove he would ever use truth-seeking orbs? Or give me a time where he'd use truth-seeking orbs canonly?
Okay, like let's say if he doesn't do it that way. Let's just say he literally flies them everywhere across space. Like the same thing applies. He could still accelerate himself indefinitely.
What do you mean by accelerate himself?
Like if you let's say you go at light speed in space, if you stop using your power, you will continue at light speed forever until something stops you. So let's say he moves at light speed and is going forever at light speed, and if he decides to just boost himself again at light speed again, then he would be two times light speed, and he'd be going at that speed forever until something stops him. So he could theoretically just keep pumping like his speed like that until he would
Okay,
obviously
that
get
would,
billions of times faster
okay.
than
I'm
light.
not going to agree to that and say that's what he's doing. But even if I say that's what he's doing, his body can handle that.
Well, yeah, because in space there's a vacuum. There's nothing like even you would be able to handle going like well I can't say that because in our universe you can't go faster than light supposedly, but theoretically if there was no like weird relativity or whatever and like you would theoretically anything could go as fast as you need to go in space because there's no air resistance that would rip you apart unless you
I
hit an
will.
asteroid or
I kind
something.
of don't want to take that unless you can prove that, because you said theoretically,
Well, because yeah,
meaning
because
that is
it
not really
yeah.
backed up.
Okay,
It's
but
not really backed up.
let's say if you were going 1,000 miles per hour in space, which would normally kill you on Earth, like unless an asteroid or like some little particle hits you, you would actually be fine at that speed. Unless, like I said, something hits you. So Hagoromo would theoretically be fine unless he hit into something. But
Like I said, that's fine,
okay,
but I
either
want you
way,
to prove that
even if it
light
does,
speed.
I mean, it doesn't even matter. It's like it's just travel speed versus combat speed. Like even Superman, like it's like a common thing in comics. Like he could go like billions or trillions of times faster than light across space. He does it all the time, but then he's not nearly that fast on Earth when he's actually fighting. So you would have to prove that his combat speed is relevant to his travel speed, anyways.
That's not what I'm proving.
So you're just proving that he could in a situation could somehow get billions of times faster than light through space.
Yeah, my only point is that they should be able to use these. Should be billions of times faster than light in any sense of the category of speed.
Okay, so prove how they could apply that in combat.
Why? Why do I have
Because
to prove they can apply that in combat?
you just said they could do it in any sense of the term speed. You didn't say just through traveling methods.
That's not what I'm saying.
But you just said any.
That's not what I'm saying.
But
What I'm saying is in any sense, meaning it can be in this sense or that sense. I'm not saying that in all categories. That's not what I said.
so what do you mean by all sense? What's that mean to you?
In all sense,
Yes, if it
I'm
doesn't mean in
saying
all
that
types of speed.
that's not what it really means or what I'm trying to say. And I told you what I've tried to say and what I'm trying to mean.
I mean, you're not really being clear. You said all sense, but it doesn't include combat speed. Then what's it if it? You're saying he can.
Like I said, I already told you what I meant by what I said that maybe is not initial all sense, but what I'm saying that's not really initially what I mean. What I mean is it could be in any sense of the word of the speed category.
Okay, so and but specifically describe what that means and how we could apply it.
Okay, his body can handle it.
Okay, but
Meaning his body can handle the movement of billions of times faster than light speeds.
like I said, in space, that's irrelevant.
But like you said before, it's a theoretical point, not actually
Yeah, no, but
proven.
because in our universe you can't go faster than light. In Naruto, they clearly can, or at least if you want to
Yeah,
say,
because Naruto characters have a different function.
yeah. So, but the
That's
thing
fine.
stopping us from going faster than light is because time like slows down to a stop and it just doesn't work. So like even if you were powerful enough to do it, you could literally couldn't. Like there's like a relativistic barrier that's stopping to you. But like in Naruto, it seems that law doesn't apply. Well, there is a like besides the only thing that would like indicates that is Guy when he uses um Night Guy, he like warps space time. So you could argue that's acting similar to it, but like because when you go towards light speed, your mass increases
Wait, and
infinitely.
not to mention, in most dimensions, there is no form of time or space.
But what?
In most of their dimensions, there's literally no form of time or space.
Are you talking about the dimensions like they travel to that we see?
Yeah.
But then that's clearly wrong because they're going through time and they're going through space in them.
Well, not even. Wait, what?
In all the dimensions they travel to in Kaguya's universes and whatnot, they all had time and space. And Zetsu literally says they're creating a new time space.
That's not what I'm referring to.
Then what dimensions are you talking about?
I'm talking about. I'm initially talking about Momoshiki's dimension.
What about it? And what
It
makes it.
doesn't have any correlation of time. Not to mention, I'm pretty sure Sasuke states there's no flow of time.
Can I see that statement?
Yeah,
Because if that's true, they should instantly be frozen in it, like once they go in there.
and they're able to move in frozen time, meaning so that would just not really be a factor.
I mean, Momoshiki freezes time in Boruto, and Sasuke is stuck, but he can see what's going on.
Wait, say that again.
Momoshiki like freezes time in Boruto right before he dies, and Sasuke wasn't able to move. He was just able to see what was happening.
Can you send that to me?
Yeah, hold on. And Naruto was not even aware of what was happening, so only Sasuke could see that. Okay, I pretty much said at the
Now
time
I
of when
see.
it happened.
It appears you have
Oh,
strongly
are you
inherited
talking or are you
Kagura's
referring to when
destiny.
Momoshiki was
You see
supposedly
your
dead?
destiny
Yeah,
quite well.
You're using that
Those who defeat the
Boruto
gods
statement, right?
cannot remain
I mean it
ordinary
was in Boruto.
individuals
Yeah,
any longer.
He states as if time was stopped, meaning he doesn't really know what's going on.
yeah, but
He,
Sasuke somehow saw it happen.
yeah, but he doesn't state time initially stopped. They don't really know what's going on in this sense.
Okay. Well, can you post the thing you're talking about saying that there's no
But
time?
yeah, it wasn't in what's it called? It wasn't in the Momoshiki fight. It was during when they fought Jigen or Ishiki,
Well, what was?
where Jigen Ishiki basically states that in a dimension where time doesn't flow.
Can I see exactly what you're talking about?
Yeah.
Is that the dimension where he trapped Naruto?
No. This is not the. Are you talking about the ceiling jutsu?
Yeah.
No. This is his dimension after he beats Jigen, not Jigen, Koji.
Hmm.
This is the dimension after he beats Koji. then they all go to that dimension.
Can you show me them in that dimension? I don't actually remember that.
Yeah, because after he defeats Koji, Naruto and Sasuke after a while go to that area to go fight Ishiki. Uh, get the manga.
Wait, so that's the dimension they fight Ishiki in?
Yeah.
I mean, I guess you could just say that things won't age in there, but like clearly their perception of time is flowing. But
Wait, what?
I mean, like it could just be like a storeroom where things won't age. Like it's like I don't
That
know.
won't even be relevant to the context.
I mean, like because they're throwing objects and rocks and they're still falling from gravity and whatnot. So like if it was a truly a world with no
Well, that's
time,
not actually true either.
well,
Why
why
wouldn't
not?
he just be controlling it and making it fall?
But why would he be making rubble fall?
Oh, you're talking about the thing that crushed Koji?
Literally just anything like nothing, everything should in that world should be completely frozen no matter what happens except them when they're moving something specifically, but it just I remember it acting like just like anywhere else.
Can you send me where some
Yeah,
rubble is
hold on.
formed?
Can you tell me what chapter that is so I could just look through it?
I need to go to the Shonen Jump right quick.
And do you have proof that's the same dimension? I think I found the chapter 37. He just says he sent him to a different dimension where Konoha doesn't exist. I don't think, does he
That's
specifically?
not the statement I was referring to.
Yeah, I know it's
That's an
not.
entirely different statement.
But I know, but it's not the same statement. But like the statement you showed, how do you know that's the same dimension he's talking about? And Sasuke entered that dimension by himself, it seems. But the I'm not sure if Sasuke should have the ability to go into the dimension that where he shrinks things.
Why not?
I mean, if it, I guess he could, but just like I don't know, like you'd have to just you have to prove it's the same dimension first.
I mean, there would be no.
Like Kaguya has multiple dimensions, so like why wouldn't he?
That would be asserting that he would.
But I'm not asserting that he does. I'm asserting that he could, and because you're the one asserting that it is the same one.
Yeah, let me get it for you right quick though. Because I'm trying to go to the scene where he fights Koji first. Actually, that's actually not what I was referring to. No, I'll just assert that Koji was able to move in the dimension he was talking about.
Okay.
As we see, he moves in that dimension while he's fighting him. Then once he turns into Ishiki, he tells him this is an area where he stores as he pulls all these pillars from the ground.
Okay, so if well, that time resistance doesn't necessarily indicate speed at all because some characters are just resistance to time abilities, and also if they do have time abilities, like if Hagoromo has time abilities, which we actually seen him do, I believe. Didn't he like stop time to talk with Naruto and Sasuke or something?
Can you give me that? I'm not sure. I don't think he stopped time.
Okay, well, I mean, if he did, I don't remember if he stopped time or if he just talked to them at real time while they were dying. But if he does have time abilities or could go through stop time, you could like theoretically say he stopped time to allow him to reach those places, and it took him a while. But I'm not really gonna assert that
I
because I
mean,
don't
we
think
you
there's any
can't
evidence of
really
that.
say that because he only does that after he's dead, and he's
Okay,
literally just chakra.
but yeah, I just overall like I could kind of see where you're coming from, but I just like don't think there's enough solid evidence. Like it's not clearly explained enough how they're doing these things, and I've shown like
I mean, there.
multitudes of statements that put the characters at around or lower than light speed, with the top tiers being faster than light speed moves at
And I
like
felt like I
best.
refuted a decent amount of your points.
I,
Only point I felt like I couldn't really refute well was the one with Tsunade.
mhm.
That's the only one I felt like I couldn't really refute well is because I don't really have the full context on that, if there really is full context. But I also tried to give a refutation for this.
Okay. Well, I think we should wrap this up soon. So I'm just gonna go over like all my stuff like real quickly, and then you could go over your things, and then we could just call it. So here is I didn't post this one yet, but this is just talking about Haku with the ability to go at the speed of light with her mirrors, or his mirrors,
Yeah, that
sorry.
would just be in reference
Yeah.
to her jutsu.
Yeah, and it just says like with that special technique, and it's impossible to see that attack sent out from this literal light speed movement. For the opponent, nothing is left but to wait in amazement. And Haku also used that ability to intercept War Art Kakashi, who could intercept lightning. So Haku being above that makes sense. And then, like I posted before, to Genin intercepting lightning is extremely impressive.
But we also see basically, uh, yeah. We see Sasuke with his base Sharingan. See this. We see Haku use this jutsu.
Yeah, but Hawker was holding back on them, and also that move like
That
extends
was
them.
only that was only not. You can't really hold back when you're using this jutsu. It would still be at this fat speed of light movement. For him to still be able to see the speed of light movement.
If anything, that would just be an inconsistency, considering Haku was clearly shown to be faster than Kakashi, who is clearly way faster than Part One Sasuke. So
Not, I mean, not really. If we're using that, that would just also, yeah, that would just be Kakashi's base Sharingan as well. His base three Tomoe Sharingan.
and then even still, then you have again lightning is shown been like thought to be impressive by Black Zetsu, who, like I said, is one of the most known
Yeah, and I
manga
already gave my
characters.
refutation for that.
Yeah, I know. I'm just going through everything to look at all the evidence together. Then you have the Rakage and B, some of the fastest characters in the verse, stating to not be at light speed yet.
Yeah, this will also just be in pure reference for translation.
And then the heavenly transfer technique, which transports people at light speed, which is clearly stated to be faster than what the fourth can do and what Tsunade can do. So that is another piece of information that backs it up. Then you have Naruto having trouble with the photons, which photons move at light speed again. And then you have Naruto
I just want
clearly.
to ask right quick: are you just doing a conclusion?
Yeah,
Like, is
pretty
that what you're
much.
doing?
Yeah, I'm just going through everything as my conclusion.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. And then Light Fang, which was, like I said, stated to be light speed. I know you said that he could have just made it faster than that, but the data book is meant for the audience's perspective. So if it was supposed to be faster than light, it would have just said that, because there's no reason why the data book would try to lowball its own series. That wouldn't make sense. And then Delta, who runs on technology, and the fastest weapon people have is lasers, which is light speed as far as we know. And it makes sense that it would be light. And Naruto again, he said, "Whoa, that was close." Just missed. And there was another scenario where he barely outran it, which would again put him relative to light speed, which would match everything else. And then there is a scene from Kwaki who, from this translation, he called it a beam of light, which would doubly back up what I'm saying. But there is another translation I saw that where he didn't actually call it a beam of light. He just called it a destructive beam. So I'm not sure which one's the correct one. I just wanted to be transparent there that I'm not 100% sure that's the right translation. But
If we go by Shonen Jump, is the second one, but I'm not sure where this first one's from. It might. I'm not sure where that first one's from.
yeah, I just found it on Google Images. But so I think overall, the best statements in the verse, like, and you mentioned a couple of other ones, but they all say light speed or like vaguely faster than light at best, which I have no problem with saying that's definitely possible. I just think the billions of times faster than light just like directly like goes against all the scaling that we've actually seen in the manga and anime, and just doesn't really line up with it. And it would be one thing if it was a clearly stated like Sasuke flew through like 10 trillion light years in a second, like it blatantly says it, and then obviously you have to accept it. But like it's very vague of what where these things actually are, and like we're going off of like just descriptions that aren't really like describing it in total detail. So like I said, I see where you're coming from, but I don't think that's enough to like go against like all of these blatant statements in guidebooks and feats in the manga that just clearly paint a picture of where these characters are at, in my opinion. So you could just go over your little ending if you want.
Okay. I kind of feel I refuted a lot of your points, and I feel like it gave more consistent. I gave more consistent areas of why this wouldn't be just a outlier, just something that can't be used. I feel like I also refuted your points of the less faster than light. For example, the translations for the data book statement with the lariat, the black Zetsu statement, and so on. So I just feel I refuted a lot of your points, and the points I couldn't refute is because I couldn't get my opponent's exact argument, and he couldn't provide the arguments that I asked for. And I feel the statement would pretty much be backed up by the fact that it states that he moves. It also states that he moves. I'm not sure if I dropped that. I'm pretty sure I dropped that in the paragraph I dropped.
Okay, real quick, you said you refuted my scan where I said the Rakage and B weren't quite as fast as Light, but I asked you
Yeah,
for
I
the
just said that would be up for translation.
yeah, but I asked you for the other translation and you haven't provided it.
Yeah, but it was also like I'm not saying it's a shotgun fallacy, but you also just went over a bunch of other topics
Okay, yeah, but
before I can get that.
you could post it now though. I'll give you the chance,
Yeah,
but
yeah, I can go get it now.
because if you can't find an alternate translation, I think you should drop that point.
Yeah, I'll drop that point. That's my bad. I'll drop that point.
Okay. So do you have anything else you want to add before we end it?
I mean, that's pretty much it.
Okay, well, yeah, I think that was a pretty good debate, so
To be honest,
it could have been more
I
exciting,
felt I
but
felt I feel like I could have expressed my arguments a little better.
yeah, you're good. Well, I'm gonna cut out some of the time we weren't saying anything so it flows better, but hopefully it'll turn out
Yeah,
okay.
but I'm not gonna cap. I did use. I'm not gonna cap. That's not where I consistently scale Naruto, of course, but I do still feel there will be consistently over 1,000 times FTO. That's my consistent skill for Naruto.
And where does that come from?
All right, like this is also based off the statement of like the translations of the Raikage, even further back from the Raikage, saying that he's almost the speeds of light. So I just compare that from KCM1 Naruto all the way down the line to KCM2 Naruto.
Hmm, I see. Okay, well,
Wait, what?
maybe you could tell me about the scaling later, but I think we should call it here for the night.
Yeah, 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 yeah.
Okay, well, good talking with you.
Good job, man.
See ya.